Dun 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 dun! What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be finally looking at the brand new PM2000 Pro Flow electric pressure washer from Chemical Guys. Now, if you didn't see my recent video that I posted on Tuesday, I did a basic overview of this thing, kind of my first impressions, just of what's available online, the specs that they list out, some of the accessories that it looks like it comes with. But in today's video, we're actually going to be unboxing this thing, actually testing the real deal usable numbers. I'm going to hook it up to my pressure gauge and test the actual usable PSI, what numbers we're actually at while we're pulling the trigger. We're going to test the GPM, or gallons per minute, which rates the flow of the machine, how much water is coming through it. We're also going to test the amperage, test the noise level, all that good stuff. And I will also give you my opinion as we're going through, now that I have the accessories and everything in my actual possession. I'll let you know my opinions on that and go from there. So here we go, guys. Stay tuned. We're going to jump into this thing right now. All right, guys, if you don't want to wait throughout the whole video, I'm going to tell you the numbers right up front here. This is just with the factory equipment that it comes with, okay? So we're going to talk about the PSI and GPM really quickly, but do stay tuned for later down in the video, because I'm going to show you how to get more out of this unit. You can definitely increase the performance a bit with this by getting some aftermarket parts. I know at the $200 price point, you really shouldn't have to, but it is what it is. So for the factory equipment, guys, we are getting 1250 PSI across all the different tips. It doesn't matter the angle. 1250 PSI, 1.15 GPM. So a little disappointing there. So guys, if you appreciate me just jumping ahead and giving you the numbers right off the bat so you don't have to watch the entire video, just please make sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming content. Also, I do want to mention again, if you're interested in actually starting and growing a complete detail business on your own, I've partnered up with Luke from Wilson Auto Detailing. He's going to be hosting a free live training. I'll have a link down in the description box for you guys where you can go sign up for the live training. It's coming up on September 15th. So make sure to register for that event. You don't want to miss out. It's going to show you how to start, build, and actually scale your business so you can turn your hobby, your passion, all this kind of good stuff that we all love about car detailing into a full-time business. Okay, now let's jump into this pressure washer. Okay guys, so here it is. I do want to say right off the bat, I think they absolutely knocked it out of the park with the packaging. This thing looks fantastic. It's got really cool kind of print on the top, obviously descriptive images on the sides, all the way around. I think they knocked it out of the park with the packaging. Looks fantastic. Hopefully they didn't spend too much money on the packaging and not so much on the pressure washer. So we're gonna find out. Let's go ahead and pull everything out of this thing. Okay, so right off the bat, you get all of your accessories, it looks like, right on top. So we have a little, probably instruction manual, maybe warranty card. As far as the warranty goes on this, I can't remember. I think it said on the website 2 years. I can't remember, but obviously that'll be listed right on the site for you guys, easy enough to see. So pull this out of the way. Right here we have the pressure washer wand and the extension. Again, if you didn't see my other video, I did mention I do not like this type of connection. It just feels cheap to me. This is what comes on a lot of pressure washers that are in that, I mean, really $80 to $150 range, and it's just doesn't scream quality to me. Additionally, it does have this type of connection point where it connects to the hose. Again, I'm not a fan of this. I like an M22 connection where you can screw it in. You can also add quick connects, whatever else. This is just a simple push pin type of a system. What you can see, let me see if I can focus this in for you guys here. Hopefully you can see that okay. So basically what it is there's these two little pins inside there, and when you push it, it pushes them out of the way. And then when you stick in your hose, all that happens is those little pins come back around it and it holds it in place. So again, just not giving me the confidence that I want in a connection point. Now there is a locking mechanism at the bottom here, so let me just see. Okay, so right now we can pull the trigger, we'll go ahead and hit it that way, and it locks it in place just for storage so you don't accidentally spray it. It doesn't lock into place while you're using it. Yeah, it just comes right back out. So it's just a storage feature, but there you go. Additionally, we have the attachments, the nozzles here. And again, one of the things I mentioned is I don't know if they changed the orifice size between these. So they are labeled, which is nice. I don't know if this will focus again, but it does say on this one 0020, 0 degree nozzle, 2.0 orifice. Let's go on to the 15. It says 15020, so again 2.0. The 25, again 2.0. 40 is 2.0, and the 60, 2.0. So what that means is we are not going to get any differentiation between pressure at the tip. The PSI and the GPM are both going to be the same because the amount of water that's able to pass through this is the same on all the tips. Now, if you were to take your hand and put it out 3 feet past the nozzle, Obviously there's going to be different pressure there because a 60-degree fan is reducing the pressure at that point compared to a 0-degree fan. But as far as testing it goes, we don't have to test all the tips. These should all get the same numbers. I'll test a couple of them just to confirm that, but they should all get the same numbers. Next up, we have this little bag of the quick connect. So they do give you some Teflon tape so you can use that on your connection points. So first off, we have the quick connect that goes onto, it looks like, I believe this goes onto the front of the pressure washer. It's cool that they already include Teflon tape on it, or some sort of sealant tape. Some sort of sealant that should seal the whole thing. One downfall though, I was expecting this to be a traditional style quick connect, which basically has these little ball bearings inside and wraps around. Looking at this, it looks to be similar to the quick connect that is on the pressure washer one that I do not like. It's just those two little pins. And on this thing, guys, I'm gonna try and get this to focus for you. There you go, and you can see it's the same deal. It's just those two pins. You pull it back, it releases them a little bit. So that's it. Again, I'm not a fan of that, but we'll see down the road. We may be able to adjust that stuff and upgrade those items. But at the price of this pressure washer, this thing comes in at 200 bucks. With tax for me here in California, it was 215 bucks basically and change. Obviously that will vary depending on where you're buying it from and your taxes. But for a $200 price point, I appreciate that they include quick connects. I just wish they weren't this kind. I mean, you can even see the whole spring mechanism behind it here. So it's all exposed. I don't know, just not my favorite. They do also include, here you go, the plastic filter. This will actually screw into the back of the unit. This is where your garden hose will connect to. So this is your water source. And then they also include a quick connect that will go onto your garden hose. The thing I do not like here is this is a nice brass quick connect with the ball bearings, the typical kind that I like, but it's brass going on to plastic. Don't like that. I don't trust that to not break over time. And last but not least, they include another quick connect. This one will actually be a replacement for on the wand. You can actually just do that quick twist, remove the extension, and then you can just plug this one in same way, line it up, push it down, and then you have not a full stubby pressure washer wand like I like, but better than having a really long nozzle if you don't need it. The reason I like a shorter wand, it's just easier for me to handle, easier to work with a foam cannon. So again, for me, this just kind of confirmed my suspicion. The accessories seem cheap to me. I don't want to talk negatively about a company or their products or anything, but the accessories seem cheap. First thing I would do is upgrade the accessories, to be perfectly honest. But now let's go ahead and jump in a little bit more and actually get to the pressure washer itself. Now, I'm assuming this box is the caster wheels because it does come with caster wheels. Again, if you didn't see my other video, I'm not going to use these. I wouldn't want my pressure washer to have the ability to wheel around. So if I'm pulling on my pressure washer hose, I don't want that pressure washer moving and potentially banging into the car. So for me as a professional detailer, that's the last thing I want. I don't want to create any sort of, I don't want to have any impact on the car negatively. These do have nice locking mechanisms on them, and they seem to lock pretty well, but still it's going to give you a reduced contact point on the ground. It's probably going to shift around, so I'm not a fan of that. I will not be installing these, but just so you guys can see, they are a screw-in type, so you can screw them into the unit, so that's good. It's not just a simple pop-in type. It seems like a good quality wheel. It's just for me, I won't use it. So next thing's up, the hose. Toss that to the side. We'll talk about that in a minute. And lastly, the pressure washer itself. Okay guys, so I just went ahead and pulled this out of the little plastic bag that it was in, and there's a little bit of moisture on the bottom, and I don't mind that. That probably means it was tested properly. Some pressure washers will do that, will have residual water from their quality control, I guess, so I don't have a problem with that. All right, now another benefit to the machine, like I said, I don't want the wheels, but it does come with rubber feet installed, so you can pull them out. Man, I don't know. These pop out really easy. I feel like that's gonna get lost over time. But anyways, still, like I said, guys, I appreciate that they include that because I'm not going to use the wheels. One thing to mention that I did, apparently I was wrong about, I did say that it comes with this little quick connect, and I mentioned that that's going to go on the front of the machine, and it's not. It has a proper quick connect on the front of the machine. So I'm happy about that. So I apologize, but it does have a proper quick connect on the front. Aside from that, guys, here is the unit. So it does come with a 35-foot power cord with a ground fault interrupt plug. On the front, like I said, it does have the quick connect here, and then a basic on-off toggle switch, which I do like. Branding is super nice. It's all kind of just embossed in here. Really, really nice. It also says Chemical Guys right along the top here on the handle. The plastic, I don't really like this shiny plastic that they used here. That's just gonna get completely beat up over time. It's on the handle as well. The rest of it looks okay. The plastics, it feels okay. It doesn't feel as thick as some of the other units. Similar to like, it doesn't feel as thick as a Ryobi to me, but should be okay. Flip it around to the back. Again, you have your water connection point here. This is where you will connect your garden hose. So again, we will be putting on the quick connect that they give us for this, which is right here. So this, again, this piece comes off. This is here, that just screws on, and this will stay off the unit like that. One thing I will mention is they made this thing really nice and compact, easy for storage, until you put that filter on, and now that part sticks out a good amount. I would probably say, you know, good 2 inches. So if you're storing that in a tight space, again, this piece is plastic. I don't trust that to last. But what I do like is that they did follow the whole method that I like in having an inlet here, or your water source comes here. The water outlet to your pressure washer hose goes here. So you're in line and you're not gonna have any kind of, you know, your garden hose and your pressure washer hose getting all jumbled up. I like that they have it on separate sides. Okay guys, so again, online it rates it at 2030 PSI, 1.77 GPM. I don't trust those numbers whatsoever, but on the back of the unit right here, guys, I'm gonna kind of zoom you guys in on this. And as you can see here, it says ProFlow, made in China, but it shows rated pressure, 1,305. Max pressure, 2030. So what does that mean? That means probably the initial impact when you pull the trigger, that may you know, increase the pressure to 2030, but is it going to stay there? No, it's probably rated pressure is probably going to be our usable pressure at 1,305. Also, it does also say rated flow of, and this is very, very disappointing, 1.06 gallons per minute with a max flow of 1.77. So guys, if we're getting 1,300, essentially 1,300 at 1.06 GPM, then that's terrible, and I wouldn't recommend it at all. But we're gonna go ahead and move over to the front of my shop now, and we're gonna test this thing. Before we do that, I do wanna touch on the hose. So this is the hose that it comes with. Feels okay, I kinda like the material, it feels good, but not as stiff as some of the others, definitely not as stiff, but let's check the kinking ability of it. Right here and right there, it kinks. Definitely kinks. Let's see if it stays in the line. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does stay in the line. So it kinks very, very hard. The reason I hate that is because over time, that's gonna create a pressure point. As there's pressure coming through the line, it's gonna hit there, gives you an opportunity for the hose to blow out. Don't like that. Again, do not like the connection point that goes, this one. The connection point that goes into the pressure washer wand, terrible to me. Now this is the pressure washer hose that I recommend for you guys. This is the Uberflex hose from a company called ProPulse, and they actually are the manufacturer or the patent holder for the Flexzilla hose as well. So if you get a Flexzilla hose, same exact patent number, it's just a green version. But they have this one. The reason I like this one is it's 50 feet long, basic M22 by 14 connection point, which is strong and also works with a bunch of quick connects, so easy to work with. And it doesn't kink. Does not kink. So you can actually get it to roll over on itself if that'll focus, but it won't stay in the line. There's no memory to this, which just makes it absolutely fantastic, a total pleasure to work with. So a lot of my recommendations on pressure washers for car detailing, if you're on a budget, go pick up a cheap Ryobi. They work, you can increase the orifice size of your nozzle, you get more flow, drops the PSI, you upgrade the hose to this, and you have a very usable unit. The hose is 50 bucks, you can get those pressure washers for 100. Plus some quick connects, you're still in under the price of this one. But again, I want to be fair, let's go test the actual numbers of this guy and see where we're at. Now, because this thing has this weird connection point, this is usually right here is where my pressure gauge goes. I can't do it here, at least with this accessory. I will do it at the connection point on the pressure washer. I've tested other ones that way, it made no difference in the PSI, so I'm confident in testing it there. And then we will also test it with the Uberflex hose to my normal stubby pressure washer one that I prefer. We'll test it both ways to make sure we're not losing any performance or gaining any performance or whatever else. And then we'll also test all the other things, like I said, GPM, noise level, and how much power it draws. Okay guys, so we're at the front of my shop now. I've got the water hose connected to the pressure washer right here. Again, brass to plastic, I'm not super excited about. I wanted to bring this to your attention though, guys. This is the little piece that holds all your nozzles, right? You'll see 3 holes in the back of the machine here. You can either put it off to the left or to the right, depending on what you want. So that's nice. It just kind of clips into place. Doesn't hold, I mean, it's snug. You have to pull on it pretty hard to get it out. So I kind of like that. That's a nice little feature. Now, last but not least, guys, let's talk about this unit here. In the manual right here, it states, you can see here, number 9 is this little piece, and number 9 is a rapid release hose connect for your pressure washer gun, meaning that should be here. Oh, I understand. This is an extra piece. In case you're using a traditional stubby wand, they give you this piece so that you can still use this hose. So what that is, guys, is if you remove the hose, this will then connect onto this piece like so, and then this will connect into your pressure washer wand, a stubby one, a more traditional one. But I'll tell you right now, guys, if you're gonna go through the trouble of getting a better pressure washer wand, which I do recommend, definitely upgrade the hose too, because the hose is, it's too short. It's 20 feet long, so you can't get around a full car. And again, it kinks like crazy. So not the best hose. Okay, so here we are. Here's my pressure washer wand. This one is from MTM, I believe. Yeah, this is the one I use for all my stuff, but it's a good quality. I'm just gonna go ahead and connect it to the front of the pressure washer via quick connect. There we go. I'm gonna connect the pressure washer hose into this. Okay, so problem number 1, this quick connect, even though it seems like a pretty standard one, does not fit this, which this fits all other pressure basic quick connects. So I don't know if my other quick connects will fit into this connection point on the front of the machine or not. I'll try that, but regardless, guys, I apologize. I cannot test the pressure with this hose. However, I will say I've done a bunch of videos on this. I've tested using multiple different lengths of hose and diameters of hose. It does not affect the pressure at all. So please keep that in mind, guys. I don't want people to say, oh, well, yeah, it says 2030, he only got this, but he's not using the factory equipment. It really doesn't matter. I promise you that. I'll link a video where I did comparing a bunch of different lengths down in the description for you guys if you're concerned about that. But yeah, for this, like, I can't test the PSI with it. I will test the GPM with it, so let's go ahead and do that. So again, guys, we will be testing the PSI, just I have to switch over to the other hose. While I have it connected to this, we're gonna test the noise level, the power draw, and also the water flow. And then we'll switch over to the other hose. We'll test the tips for the PSI, and then we'll test the GPM there as well. Okay, guys, so I just went ahead and turned my water source on. I just have to flip the switch, and we'll check for leaks on this thing. So I'm gonna take you in close with my phone. Okay, so here we are. Here's my pressure on switch for my water. Here we go. There you go. You can see water going through the filter. Nothing leaking out of there. That's all good. I like that. Obviously nothing leaking out of the front yet. We're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this thing just to release the air and get air bubbles out of there so we don't have any delay in getting our pressure reading. So for the first test, where I'm testing the noise level and the amperage draw, we're gonna use a 40-degree nozzle for this. Again, they're all the same size orifice. The small little pinhole is the same size. So we should get the same exact PSI and GPM rating for all the nozzles that it comes with. Okay, guys, so for the first test, like I said, we're gonna do the decibel reading to see how loud this thing is. Typically, they range, on average, units like this usually range between 80 to 85, somewhere in there. So ambient noise is here. 54, 55. Now when I test this, it's not super scientific. I get about 3 feet away, I hold it there, and we'll check it. So keep that in mind. And guys, I apologize, and I'm sweaty, but it's very humid here today in San Diego, so it is what it is, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just spray the nozzle, and we're gonna turn the unit on. Nice total stop system, so that's good. So again, about 3 feet away, here we go. "80 decibels, guys. That's not bad. That's a little bit on the quieter end compared to some of the other units, so I like that. Now we're gonna go ahead and test the amperage reading. It's on the wall, so I'm gonna take you guys in again with my phone. And it takes a little bit of time for this to build up, so we'll let it run until it gets to its maximum point and starts to come back down. So here's the reading, and here we go. I'm gonna pull the trigger. So it maxed out at 11.26. Not bad. It's rated to 14.5, I think. So it's not overworking the motor at all. good to go there. You could definitely put a smaller orifice in here and it would increase the PSI and still be okay for your outlets. Let's go ahead and take this one now. We're gonna test the GPM with factory unit. I just have my bucket here and we'll test it out. Okay guys, so I test the GPM flow of these things the same way every time. I have my bucket here. I'll let the pressure washer flow into it for 1 minute and then we'll test that. It reads out and it'll tell us exactly how many gallons per minute it's actually doing. Okay, and here we go. All right guys, so there's 1 minute. Okay guys, so the water has settled and we are just barely above 4.5 quarts. So I put it in at 4.6 and that gives us a total of 1.15 GPM, so under 1.2 GPM. Not a great start. All right, so now to test the rest of this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Uberflex hose that has quick connects. We'll test it that way using my preferred stubby wand as well. I'll link all that stuff in the description for you guys. If you have a basic pressure washer, definitely upgrade to these units. It'll make your life so much easier. So first things first, I need to make sure that the quick connects actually fit this pressure washer. And I already know they're not going to, because traditionally it has a male end coming out of the pressure washer, female ends on the hoses. So let me switch this thing out. Okay guys, I just tried to put my normal quick connect on there. These are an M22, which is this outer diameter thread, by 14 millimeter, which is this inside piece that fills the hole. These do not fit. It's gonna be an M22 by 15 millimeter machine, so there's an adapter that you can get. I'm gonna grab mine and plug it in. Just wanna let you guys know, if you use a traditional M22 by 14, it's gonna leak and you're gonna lose pressure. You're gonna be dealing with all those nightmares. So another thing guys, I can't remember if the Sunjoes, I think the Sunjoes use an M22 by 15, but outside of that, traditionally it's just the kind of no-name made in China pressure washers that you can find on Amazon that use those M22 by 15 connections. So again, I don't know who manufactures this thing, but it's definitely not the same people that manufacture the Ryobis or the Hearts or anything like that, because they're the same company. So anyways, gonna grab my adapter and we'll try again. So here is what the adapter actually looks like. So basically this side is an M22 by 15, that screws into the unit. And then this side is an M22 by 14, this will screw onto there and then we'll be good to go. Okay guys, so I've got it all set up now. As you can see, pressure washer is here, adapter is there running into the traditional male end of the quick connect, into the female end of the quick connect on my hose, running all the way down to another quick connect that runs into my PSI gauge into my stubby wand. So we're going to be going through and testing the PSI on each of these nozzles just to confirm they're the same. So we'll start off with the 0 degree. So nozzle number 1, the 0 degree. There we go, we're in focus and very, very disappointing. We're getting about 1250 PSI. It might creep up over time a little bit, but still we're gonna be operating in 1300 PSI maybe, which is totally fine for car detailing. I actually like 900 to 1200, that's my preferred range, but I want my GPM at that point up at 2 gallons per minute. So we're essentially a gallon under where I want it to be for this PSI range. Not ideal. Let's go ahead and switch between the nozzles now. I'm just gonna run through them quickly to confirm that we're getting about 1250 on each one. So now we're moving on to the 15 degree and maybe slightly worse at about 1200 PSI. So the next nozzle guys is the green 25 degree nozzle. I'm gonna try and focus. Here we go. So again, same thing. I do wanna point this out to you guys just to kind of clarify where they may be getting their rating at. I'm sorry if this keeps jumping in and out of focus. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna show you guys. As I pull the trigger and then I let go, you'll see the PSI jump up, and that may be where they're getting their rating, but still, it's ridiculous because that's not usable at all. So here we go, I'm gonna release the trigger, watch it jump. So it jumps up to about 2000 PSI, but again, who cares, because you can't use that. You can't, it's not usable at that number. All right guys, 40 degree. Once again, same thing, and last but not least, 60 degree. And same thing once again. Now I do like that they include a 60 degree. I never see that anywhere, so I like that, but again, with these numbers, it's just too weak to get anything done. Yeah, there's not a lot of force to this at all. So now that we know that all of them are the exact same, we're getting the exact same PSI, it means that we're gonna get the exact same GPM, gallons per minute, through all of these. So I'm just gonna take one of them. Again, we're gonna take the 40. I'm I'm gonna do the GPM test again, just to confirm that it should be about 1.15 or just over 4.5 quarts, just to confirm that we're not losing any flow, any PSI through this longer hose. And here we go. Alrighty, so there is the 1 minute mark. And stop this, flip this around. We're gonna let the water settle, and I'll bring you guys in close again to see. Just barely over 4.5 quarts. Exact same thing, exact same flow. So there you go, guys. This unit gets about 1250 PSI and 1.15 GPM using the included nozzles. So I have to say that's fairly disappointing from a car detailing company that's supposed to, have the detailer in mind. I knew already the 2030 1.77 GPM. Those are silly numbers. I knew I wasn't going to do that, but this is really far off. 800, yeah, essentially 800 PSI off, and almost a half gallon of flow or something like that, or a little bit more than that. So not good. Let's go ahead and test a couple of aftermarket nozzles. I'm going to increase the orifice size now. It'll drop the PSI, but maybe we can increase the GPM to get it into a more usable, actual usable numbers. Because right now, 1250 with that low of a flow, it's just not great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab a 2.5 orifice and a 3.0 orifice. We'll test the PSI. If they drop too low, we're not even going to mess with testing the GPM because it's unusable. But here we go. All right, guys. I don't know where all my aftermarket tips went, but I don't have any 40 degrees, but I do have 25 degrees. Again, the degree doesn't matter. It's the orifice size that matters and changes things. So here's the 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and plug this one in, test the PSI. Okay, we didn't lose much. We're sitting at about 1,000 now. So not bad. Let's move over to the 3.0 because that's going to give us more flow than the 2.5 will. If we're still at usable numbers on the PSI, then that may be a good option. All right, guys, with this one we're running at 700, so it's definitely a little bit light. So I'm assuming the 2.5 is going to be the best option for this unit. Let's go ahead and test the GPM, and I'll test the GPM on the 3.0 as well, just so we know. Okay, so first up, we're going to do the 2.5. So we've got that in the bucket. Let me go ahead and get my stopwatch, and here we go. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and check it. And we definitely increased, so that's good. But now we are sitting at just about, we'll give it 5 quarts. It's right there. So 5 quarts would be 1.25 gallons per minute at 1,000 PSI. So better for sure, but still not ideal at all. Okay, now last but not least, I got the 3.0 installed. Let's test the GPM on this one, and here we go. All right, guys, first off, I do want to say while I was running that test, I was checking the PSI, and it's actually sitting at 800 PSI, so better than I thought. It's not 700, it's 800. Let's go ahead and see what the water flow is. We definitely increased again. We are at almost, well, let me just let the water settle and then we'll see. So here you are, not 5.5 quarts. It did increase, but it's only at about 5.25 quarts. So let me do the calculation on that real quick. Okay, so calculation after that, we're sitting at 1.3125 gallons per minute. So basically 1.3 gallons per minute for 800 PSI. So if you bought this unit and you want to get the most out of it, I would switch and get either the 2.5 or the 3.0 nozzles. It's up to you. I'll link them both down in the description for you guys. Again, the 2.5 was getting 1,000 PSI at 1.25 GPM, and the 3.0 orifice was getting 800 PSI at just a smidge over 1.3 GPM. So again, guys, not ideal, but if you do have this unit, switch over to those tips. You'll get a little more performance out of it. All right, what's up, guys? Really quickly, I wanted to add this in. Sorry, I'm just filming this on my phone real quick. I actually finished filming that video and I forgot I wanted to add something. So someone had mentioned testing that unit with a mobile setup, so using it gravity fed from a water tank. I didn't do that, and the reason I didn't do that is because the performance results weren't anything great. It's actually pretty disappointing. So I don't recommend it overall. I would definitely just recommend going with like a basic Ryobi, saving the money there, getting the better accessories. because that one, just the performance isn't there and the quality is not 100% there either. So that's why I didn't check that for mobile units. However, it definitely will work with a mobile unit, gravity fed, as long as you have a big enough tank. It will work. You just have to purge the line, prime the pump, and then you'll be good. It definitely will work. It also definitely will work with a foam cannon. If you're using a kind of cheap foam cannon, it's not going to get the most amount of foam because the flow and PSI are not great. But if you're using something like the MJJC, which I have on my site, I'll link that in the description for you guys, that gets a ton of foam. So even with a lower PSI GPM pressure washer like that, you'll still get good foam. That one, the MTM or the Griot's Boss. So that's it, guys. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are the numbers. Again, to recap, factory equipment, we got 1250 PSI, 1.15 GPM, not great. It actually bothers me quite a bit. It's coming from a car wash, car detailing company. They should have a better grasp on what's really needed to do work on a car. I get it's a, consumer grade, all that kind of stuff, but if you're making a consumer grade pressure washer like this, you gotta be at that price point, right? Because with the Ryobis, you can go get a $100 unit, you're getting like 16 to 1800 PSI right out of the gate, and then getting that 1.15 GPM. So when you manipulate them, you can get down to that 900 PSI at like 1.4. So you're getting better numbers out of a $100 pressure washer. This one, I understand they include some quick connects, but the hose isn't great. So my recommendation for sure, just get a basic unit, $100 unit, Greenworks or Ryobi or Craftsman. Go with one of those guys. They're all gonna have a fantastic warranty. You can get them at your local big box, Home Depot, Lowe's, all that kind of stuff, or on Amazon. Upgrade your hose, get the quick connects, and upgrade your pressure washer wand. You're gonna be under the $200 mark that this one is still, and you're gonna have a much more usable, you're gonna have a better experience with that. You're gonna get better performance and have all of the accessories already under the price of this one. Now guys, I will say, I know when Adams Polishes first came out with their pressure washer, their first one, it wasn't great. They made leaps and bounds after that. They learned from that first one. They came out with the Adams 2.0, much better unit. It comes with like a 60-foot steel braided hose. Not as flexible as I like, but a really good hose. It's gonna last you a long time. Came with a stubby wand already, fantastic little unit. And then they also offer a pro grade, like $1,000 pressure washer that I actually use in my professional business in one of my trucks. So hopefully Chemical guys will learn from this. And if they do decide to release another one, they'll up their game quite a bit. This one, the unit looks good. The packaging was fantastic, but it kind of stopped there. So that's it, guys. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.